Joe Diomede here in the back of the Grangette, very familiar place for many of my followers here. And I'm sitting with David Meyer. We had a lovely night last night. So TTRP TV coming at you with another interview for my musician series. David Meyer, last night you took us on a musical journey. Um, and that journey was wonderful. And I know you don't like genres, Dave. We spoke off camera about that, and Maya as well. But your music, don't put it into a genre, but where where did you come about writing the stuff that you did?
I grew up in Australia in the 70s, and I just basically I listened to pop music in the 70s, and then later on, as I got older, I listened to a lot of psychedelia, American psychedelia, and then got into classical music, a bit of jazz. So it's very eclectic. And I think all of those things from my background are woven into our songs.
For sure. And Maya on the bass, man, you look very cool. I didn't take any videos.
That's the main thing.
And you sounded great, obviously, but it was like the duo up there was fantastic. And Maya, you're singing. Did you have any training? Because you got like an operatic voice.
Yes, actually met at a university in Australia, the music course. It's not a classical music course. It's contemporary music, but the singer, the singing teacher, was an opera singer. And I personally, I'm not great fan of operas, but I've got a natural kind of lenient towards operatic sound. So I just utilize that as splashes around to just dramatize stuff a little bit and create some. Yeah, we're a bit dramatic.
Yeah, yeah, it was definitely it's a theater. It's a musical theater up on that stage. It's great because all of your stories, all of your songs, I'm sorry, have stories behind them, which is quite cool. And like David, you apologized to the French people last night because they missed something, and it's true because I'm the sort of dude who listens to lyrics as well as the music, and I loved both. Like your that song about marriage. Tell me about that one because that was a really lovely song. Who wrote that one?
Which one? Call
The
Me
love
In, or
song.
the one that I was talking
The love
about?
song, yes, the one.
Oh yeah, that's my song, and yeah, because we've been married for a long, long time, and you get to a point in your marriage where you love, but you don't know if it's habitual love or if it's you kind of like missing that kind of spark that you get in the beginning, and so this song was, I suppose, speaking about that love that is well-aged love, but the missing of the new bud love, and the need for it to come back into your life to zhuzh it up a little bit.
I mean, I loved it, and that's what I loved about last night. The songs, the segues were incredible because you went from that into, I believe, the song about money, maybe, or
Yeah, the one about
The Cult of More, the anti-capitalist, snarling, raging song.
where you sounded like Peter Garrett.
Yeah, the Peter Garrett one. And I look like him already, apart from the head.
Yeah, yeah. But I got the head for it. Peter Garrett from the Midnight Oil. So anyway, yeah, and then some of your other songs, like so you it's obviously spanned a lot of years because you touched on digital as well. The algorithm. You did two
Yeah.
songs on algorithms. Where did those come from, Dave?
Probably because I taught this unit about looking at media and the impact that new media and screens and social media addiction is having on society, and so it got into my head. And plus, I'm observing. I've grown up as a digital immigrant, as they call it. Like before internet, before color TV. I remember, and spanning that divide. So it's been really interesting to see this incredible impact that digital technology's had on everything. And some of it's fantastic, and some of it's really not so fantastic.
Totally agree. I mean, you and I, as we discussed last night, we're born basically in the same, nearly the same exact era, and yeah, I'm an immigrant as well, and to see the difference, that's why I think those words really touched me. And I'm also married for 25 years, so 23 years, and
24
I like to kind of touch on slightly more taboo areas that aren't spoken, like the trippy one, the one about mushroom taking that nobody would actually, well, of course they would, but it's kind of still kind of a song that nobody would actually spell out whatever you're talking about, and also about porn, and which we like to push the boundaries a little bit about subject matter.
Yeah, and they were great, and because you come from that era of music, it took me back to, like I said, we're not going to get into the genre thing, but it was Tommy rock opera esque, a little bit of Midnight Oil in there, a little bit of prog rock, and a little bit, and it was like, whoa, yeah, a little bit of Pink Floyd. So those influences, you played a guitar, and you were getting some sounds out of your folk-looking guitar that were quite incredible. So I saw you had quite an intricate foot bass there. Does it take you a long time to actually get that down?
A big part of rehearsal for me is learning how to dance on all the different pedals and get the timing right. It's huge, actually. And I'm a little bit out of practice, but if we play more, I'll get.
Yeah, and you will, and you will. A lot of people said, "Oh, I missed it last night. I want to go see it because I'm hearing good reviews." And I must say, because I was working the bar, I was intrigued. I was watching your feet a lot, and I was like, "Wow, he's got a lot of stuff down there."
Yeah, it's a bit of a trip.
And so, how long have you been doing this musical thing? You've been together a long time, but how long have you been doing the music together?
Well, I think Dave's mentioned yesterday we met at the music course in '96, and we played in what started as mine and my girlfriend's band, and he was the guitarist. But then that all fell apart when I got pregnant. We got pregnant, and after a few years of me just being a mother, then I really needed to get back into music, and I created this venue called Epiphany Arts, and that was specifically to allow a space for artists, musicians, or any kind of artist, really, performing artists, to do their stuff and get fed at the same, well, not at the same time, but it was a really, really good way for us to discover each other again musically, and we started then.
Wow, okay, cool. Got lots of parallels, 96.
19 years Tupenny Opera's existed.
Yeah, 19.
Yeah, 2004.
Yeah, and we're only just starting to bloom.
Right.
Very slow developers.
We lose momentum.
Cool. And yes, so the name of the group, we kind of glossed over that in the beginning, is Tupenny Opera. Tupenny Opera.
1 P and 2 N's.
And we can find some of your. I'm going to put a link in the description. There will be a link in the description so you can see some of the music we're talking about. And you have a website as well.
No longer. We've got some YouTubes. We got Bandcamp. If you like lyrics, the lyrics are on the Bandcamp site. And we got another album, actually. So our 2 albums are on Bandcamp. One that was done 11 years ago, and one that was done just before COVID. And we were about to come over here and start, playing and plugging it, and then COVID just locked us up in Australia for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, let's not even talk about that era of time. And so interesting accents we got going on here. So you got, I know you're English and you're Australian, but you got your Australian accent comes through. So you're an Australian.
I'm born and bred and lived in Australia. Yeah.
But he doesn't have the typical Aussie slang.
I can if you want.
He could put on the strine. Yeah, mate. And your accent there, Maya. So you not Australian.
My mother is Italian, and she moved to Israel and birthed 5 kids to an Israeli father. So I was born in Israel, bred in Israel, but spoke Italian for the first 5 years of my life, which I now can't remember, and then moved to Hebrew. So I moved to Australia when I was 20 and been living in Australia for 30. I'm not going to say how long. That would totally reveal my age, but yeah, long time.
A long time, yes. Okay, that's all. We'll just leave it at that. 90, yeah. We got a few dates in there. We could do a little figuring, 96. But anyway, so it was really, really a great night. I mean, it was a voyage for all of us in the venue last night. I think everyone went on a separate voyage, and a lot of us who are of the same age bracket really felt the connection with your music.
Back there, yeah.
Thank you.
For sure. Yeah, I want to thank you for that because it was fantastic. So just to say, we talk about Australia, we talk about England, but they have moved to this beautiful part of the world. So not only are we lucky enough to see them last night, they're also going to be neighbors.
We love it here.
Absolutely adore France. Yeah.
And this part of France, especially.
Very good. Joe Diomede, TTRP TV with the Tupenny Opera, coming at you from the Grangette. Once again, Another beautiful night. Thanks to these two next to me. And I'll put links in my description, everything you can find their music, and maybe you can get taken on a little bit of a journey yourself. Thank you. Be well, and peace.